What's good? It's your boy Jay, that's me. Let's get into Monday Night Raw, the Labor Day edition of Monday Night Raw for September the 4th, 2023. Really decent show. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Before we get into the review, I want to say happy Labor Day to everyone. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I, for one, had to work. I just recently started a new job not too long ago. It's in the retail industry, and it's okay. So I'm just still trying to get used to that. But overall, Monday Night Raw was decent. We kicked the show off with Jey Uso. So Jey Uso comes to the crowd and he said that he appreciates that. Yeet. Hey, real talk. I always wanted to do this part. Welcome to Monday Night Raw. Your boy has only been gone for 2 or 3 weeks, right? But it feels a bit longer than that, Jay says. I really hit my breaking point, Oos. Every week on national television, fighting my family. Hell, will the real family feud? That was good right there. Then out of the blue, a lifeline came through in the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. That's why I'm on my own now. Yes, I have made some enemies in the past. It's just on me. And main event Jey Uso is now in Yo City. The crowd erupts when he comes through. That was great. Loved it. Really good stuff by Jey. Sami Zayn then comes out and he says, Jey, I gotta be pretty honest. It's crazy to see you here. There's lots of people in the locker room that are going to have a problem with you. Even Kevin and I haven't always seen eye to eye over the situation, but that's okay because he's not here tonight. Which with what he did on Saturday, I can see why he wasn't there on Monday. I can see why. Kevin Owens went to fucking war. Sami Zayn says, right now, this is about you and me, and I wanted to make sure that I was the first person you saw on Raw. Come down to the ring, look you in the eyes, and tell you that I'm happy that you're here. I know you, Jey. I know what's in your heart. I know what kind of guy you are. You broke free. And now you're standing here on your own. All by yourself. You're truly main event Jey Uso. So look, I know there's history here. I didn't expect us to be friends. I don't expect us to be friends. But I wanted to tell you that I respect you. So, Jey was reluctant to shake Sami Zayn's hand. Jey admits that wasn't very oozy of him. And then Sami and Jey, they start hugging, and then they dap each other up. So that was great. I love that. Love that. So Jey begins to walk up the ramp. Drew McIntyre's music hits. He comes out. He stares a hole through Jey Uso. Then Sami Zayn comes back and says, hey, look, it's okay. He's a changed man. So we all know that Drew McIntyre is going to go heel anyway. We all know. Moving on, but a really good way to kick off Raw. Really good way. So moving on, we got a recap of Shinsuke Nakamura attacking Seth Rollins after Payback went off the air. Nakamura said that he broke Rollins, like he broke the code they shared in the ring. Nakamura may have underestimated Rollins, but he was the last one standing on the battlefield. That may give hint to a potential last man standing match. That's probably going to be their next match. He's the reason why Seth Rollins will lose his grip and he will prevail. Nakamura proclaims that he'll become the World Heavyweight Champion. So I do think that they'll probably have their second match be a last man standing match. It kind of makes the most sense. Moving on. So Adam Pearce cuts off Seth Rollins in the backstage area. Rollins says that he's fine despite recommendations from the medical team. Ricochet says that he's willing to help out, but Rollins is having none of that. So this leads us into our first match of the night, which I didn't give a damn about, and that was Drew McIntyre and Matt Riddle versus the Viking Raiders. So basically, Kofi Kingston comes out towards the end of the match. He accidentally hits the Trouble in Paradise on Matt Riddle, and this allows for the Viking Raiders to pick up the win via the Ragnarok through the table for the 1, 2, 3. So this is going to turn Drew McIntyre heel. They're doing a slow heel turn with McIntyre, and I'm down with that. I'm all in for that. Really good shit there. Moving on. So Seth Rollins, he's out next. He welcomes Charlotte, North Carolina to Monday Night Raw. He says, I'm your host for this evening. I'm a visionary, and I'm a revolutionary. I'm Seth freaking Rollins. I gotta be honest with you guys. 2 days ago at Payback, Shinsuke Nakamura did everything he said he was going to do. Shinsuke put a bullet on my back, and he dropped bombs on it. There are points in that match I didn't know if I could continue that fight, but last time I checked, I'm the world heavyweight champion. But there's one thing, guys. There's something that's been eating me up inside for the last 2 days. Even though I was able to beat Nakamura at the end of the night, he was able to walk out of the building. I got pushed out of there in a wheelchair by my wife, and that just doesn't sit right with me. How about we right some wrongs here? Shinsuke Nakamura, get your ass out here. I'm going to make your dreams come true. Get in the ring. I have a proposition for you. And then Nakamura comes out. Rollins says, all right, look, I realize that there's only one way to get your attention. What do you say? How about we have a World Heavyweight Championship rematch right here, right now? Nakamura says no. And then he speaks in Japanese. Seth Rollins says, excuse me. Nakamura says no. And then he says, are we going to have a World Heavyweight Championship rematch, yes or no? You know what, Shin? It's not going to work for me. So, Seth Rollins then says, it's Monday night, and I know it's Labor Day, but I'm clocked in. Whether you like it or not, you're going to get that work, son. And then Nakamura and Seth Rollins, they start brawling in the entranceway. Producers and security, they come out trying to separate both guys. Nakamura is able to attack the injured back of Rollins. Ricochet joins the fray and starts trying to tee off on Nakamura with the steel chair. And then Seth Rollins and Adam Pearce are yelling at each other in the gorilla position. Adam Pearce is trying to make sure that Seth Rollins doesn't run himself into the ground. Unfortunately, that doesn't work for Seth Rollins. So this leads us into Shinsuke Nakamura versus Ricochet. So this is a DQ. It's a DQ. Ricochet wins via disqualification. So Nakamura starts attacking Ricochet with the steel chair. So he hits Ricochet with several chair shots, and then he attempts to go for the Kinshasa. Seth Rollins comes out and makes the save. Rollins attacks the security team. He lands the somersault plunger, taking out Nakamura and and the rest of the security. So Nakamura sends Rollins back first to the steel steps, and then Nakamura starts to stomp on Seth Rollins' face. Nakamura avoids a big chair shot from Ricochet. And then we see Damian Priest from the backstage area looking in on everything. And then Rhea tells the Priest that it's not the time to cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase. So this is fine here. I like it. Again, they're probably going to do the rematch at Fastlane. So that makes the most sense. But it looks like all things are going to be headed into a last man standing match. It really does make the most sense if you think about it. I think it's been a while since Seth Rollins has been in a last man standing match. I can't remember the last time he's been in one, if we're being honest. I want to say maybe 4 or 5 years ago. I just can't remember. I can't, but it looks like that's where they're probably going to go with it for this storyline here, which actually makes the most sense, if we're being honest. Like that's the only match that Nakamura can have with Rollins that would actually give him a chance to win. Moving on, so Jackie Redmond, she's backstage with Zoey Stark. So Zoey Stark has a lot of respect for Trish and what she taught her, but she won't tolerate disrespect. So Zoey Stark has unfinished business with Shayna Baszler, and they'll see who's the true baddest woman in WWE. Again, I don't get that. I really don't. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? I just don't get it. Moving on. So Chelsea Green tells Adam Pearce that she's a future Hall of Famer and she won't stand in line behind Sasquatches like Raquel Rodriguez. Piper Niven is not medically cleared. Chelsea Green is not buying into this notion that the women's tag team titles are cursed, which that's been going on online, which is actually kind of true. And then out of nowhere, Raquel Rodriguez walks up, and then she will face Chelsea Green later on tonight. So, the Judgment Day, they're out next. So Damian Priest says, all rise for the crew who's dripping in gold. All rise for the Judgment Day. So Dom gets on the mic, and he is met with boos like he always is. So he says, at Payback, we did exactly what Mommy told us to do and bring home all the gold to the Judgment Day. And Mommy's successfully defending your world championship. And Finn Balor and Damian Priest handled Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Handled Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, becoming the new undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions. Finn Balor says, hey, Dom, thank you so much. I want to take this time to congratulate you on your 1-year anniversary since joining the Judgment Day. And then, for whatever reason, Finn Balor decides to call Rhea sis. He says he wants to thank you for always being the voice of reason. Damian, I know we had a couple of ups and downs over the last couple months, but look at us now. Undisputed Tag Team Champions of the world. And he begins to give a special shout out to JD for having his back for the last 20 years. And finally, I would like to thank myself on reaching my most recent milestone in my career, becoming Grand Slam Finn. Nice. So Rhea says, we all know that he deserves it. Last week, I gave you boys an ultimatum, and the pressure was on. But then she said that Finn and Damian, you boys really rose to the occasion and showed that you're brothers and that we are family. But there's one thing that's aggravating me. The focus is not on us and our accomplishments. People are talking about Jey Uso coming to Monday Night Raw. What does that mean for the bloodline? As far as I'm concerned, the bloodline has fallen and Judgment Day has risen as the most dominant faction in all of WWE. Out comes JD McDonagh. So Damian Priest says, a small part of me is starting to like you. Whatever you have to say, it better be good. JD says, it will be good. See you guys on Saturday. I took a bullet for you guys on Saturday. So at least you could do is let me get to the ring and let me explain why I'm out here. I'm actually out here because something you said last week, Rhea. You said big changes are needed in the Judgment Day. Big changes are needed in the Judgment Day. And they've been needed for a long time. Damian, that briefcase has got to go. Look, you don't need it. You got all the gold. You don't need that briefcase because you need this one. So, JD McDonagh then hands Damian Priest a custom Money in the Bank briefcase, which is purple. I'm like, what the fuck? Ugh, that thing looks ugly. And then Sami Zayn appeared on the stage. And then Sami Zayn said he's not going to let what happened at Payback slide. He sees 5 turds in the ring. A very special beating is owed to the man who cost him the biggest match. Cost him the match. The biggest turd of them all, Dominik Mysterio. So Zayn then challenges Dominik to a match. JD McDonagh is willing to bring the fight to Zayn. Zayn says that JD McDonagh is in due for a major ass kicking. Moving on. So, this is kind of cool, I guess. Moving on. Gunther says that history will be made tonight, and Chad Gable doesn't belong in the history books. His legacy will last forever, and he will go down as the longest reigning and greatest intercontinental champion in history. Which he did. And we'll talk about that, because that match was tremendous. Moving on. Zoey Stark versus Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler gets the win. And then after the match, Shayna and Zoey Stark have some words. And it looks like they might team them up. So that would be kind of good. So Shayna is the veteran. And we might see Shayna and Zoey become a tag team. Again, Zoey's still getting her feet wet. She's still not ready for a push yet. She's still just getting her feet wet. She's still that cake in the oven that hasn't finished baking all the way through yet, but she'll get there. She's okay from an in-ring perspective, but Zoey Stark lacks a personality. Same can be said for Shayna Baszler. So, but they may put them together as a tag team. Don't know, but they both kind of gave each other a fist bump. So that's cool there. Moving on. So Damian Priest is still hesitant about JD McDonagh potentially joining the Judgment Day. Rhea wants to see what he does against Sami Zayn, and she tells Dominik to make sure the plan goes through tonight. So Drew McIntyre, he's backstage. He's not happy with Kofi Kingston. McIntyre doesn't believe it's a coincidence that Kofi interfered in their match. Kofi begins to apologize. He talks about how McIntyre hit Xavier Woods last week, taking him out. 2 weeks ago, taking him out. And he told Matt Riddle to get his boy. And Matt Riddle says he has his bro. So this is leading to Drew McIntyre turning heel slowly. And I can't wait. So this leads us into Raquel Rodriguez versus Chelsea Green. So Raquel wins via what's that move called? The powerbomb she does. I forgot what it used to be called. But she wins with that move. And then after the match, Raquel gets on the mic and informs us that she's going to be getting a championship rematch with Rhea Ripley next week. And Dominik Mysterio is barred from ringside. That's fine there, but I'm kind of shocked they would do it on television. Like, why? Like, build the match up, please. Like, build it up. Like, we know Rhea's going to win, but build it up. Moving on. So, Adam Pearce had a backstage conversation with Jey Uso. He said that Smackdown will be receiving a trade compensation. Compensation. Adam Pearce tells Jey to keep his head on a swivel, as he already has issues with the Raw locker room. And then, out from the ether or wherever, Tommaso Ciampa comes into play, and he says he wants to have a conversation with Adam Pearce. Let's talk about what we talked about previously. And I'm like, oh, okay, interesting. So it seems like Cody Rhodes is going to be the one traded to SmackDown, and this makes the most sense. This is great. Hopefully this will happen within the coming weeks. This will probably happen either Friday on SmackDown or next week on Monday Night Raw. So I think that'll be good. we can finally start building to Roman and Cody WrestleMania 40. I wouldn't build it right now, but damn sure after Survivor Series is over with, go ahead and start building that. Start building it. I mean, Cody can still go through adversity, but we need Cody and Roman at WrestleMania 40. And this allows us to get that without Cody winning the Royal Rumble next year. So that's the only logical way they could have done this. And I think this will also help Smackdown in the ratings, since Roman won't be there for a little bit. So there's that also. That could also be a factor. Moving on. Miz TV. So he had an invisible John Cena as a special guest referee. I mean, as a special guest. I'm just like, what the fuck? Oh my God. This has turned into some indie shit. So Miz wants transparency. What happened at Payback? He asked the Charlotte crowd if they can see his special guest. Miz gets into a brawl with Cena. Drops him with the skull-crushing finale. He proclaims that he's going to be responsible for the demise of LA Knight and the yeah movement. Yeah, dummy, yeah. And because he's the Miz and he's awesome. So this is fine here, but it kind of creeped me out a little bit. I don't know why WWE went this route. I really don't. Like, that was very kind of indie. Because I've seen people do that shit on the indies. I don't like it. I really don't. Like, don't ever do this again. It was funny to an extent, because the crowd chanted, holy shit. But don't ever do it again. Please don't do it again. Moving on, Sami Zayn versus JD McDonagh. JD McDonagh gets the win. And then post-match, because Dominik Mysterio helped out JD McDonagh. So, post-match, Sami Zayn viciously attacks Dominik Mysterio. He hits the exploder suplex. He attempts to go for the haluva kick. So JD McDonagh pulls Dominik out the way, tells him to get out the way, and then JD McDonagh walks into the exploder suplex into the haluva kick. So that's fine there. So basically, Dom had a conversation with Jey Uso, trying to recruit him into the Judgment Day. So that's interesting. That's very, very interesting. I do like that. Will Jey join? Probably not. I'm pretty sure that this is probably going to be the start of Jey Uso trying to assemble some type of team to take on Judgment Day. That's probably where this is going. I don't know who he can get to side with him. I don't. Outside of Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. But who else? I don't know. Time will tell. Moving on. Main event. Gunther versus Chad Gable for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. This match was fucking great. The crowd was into this. So, Chad Gable was able to hit the Chaos Theory suplex. Gunther kicked out at a long 2. But the crowd was super into this thing. Super into Chad Gable. He goes for the moonsault. And then Gunther kicked out at 2. And then Gunther goes for the sleeper hold. Chad Gable rolls out of that. And then Gunther powerbombs Chad Gable. And then he hits the lariat for the 1, 2, 3. And still, the Intercontinental Champion, Gunther. So this was great. I love this. The crowd loved this. And I'm wondering, where does Chad Gable go next? I don't know. Nobody knows. Who knows? I'm pretty sure that Jey Uso is probably going to be the one to dethrone Gunther. That would make the most sense. I've heard people talk about that online, and I'm for one in that camp as well, that Jey Uso should be the one to dethrone Gunther. And then that way we can start building Gunther. Maybe have him win the Royal Rumble at WrestleMania. My bad. Have him win the Royal Rumble next year. Have him challenge Seth Rollins. And at WrestleMania 40, he's the one who defeats Seth Rollins. I think that would be fine there. So that's probably what they're going to do. Hopefully. Because I could see Gunther being World Heavyweight Champion on Raw. That would make the most sense. Because I don't think WWE's going to move him to SmackDown just yet. I think that'll be a while. It'll be a while. But Monday Night Raw was good. It was decent for the most part. But what did you guys think? Please hit the like button, comment down below, and subscribe to my videos. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.
To the